UFC 314 is coming up in a few days, and I feel like Diego Lopes is being overlooked in this matchup, and I get a lot of people want Volk to win. He is a slight favorite, but it feels like everyone is picking Volk, that this is a pretty easy matchup. Lopes is very beatable, a lot of people are saying, and they think that Volk is going to have a pretty easy time dealing with Lopes outside of maybe the first round, and if it gets past that, it's going to be very easy, and he's going to either finish him in the later rounds or dominate him and get like a 49-46, 50-45 decision. And even though I do think Volk has a good chance of winning, I don't think that it's that easy, and I think that Lopes, if Volk is going to be able to get past him, I think it would be one of his best wins. I think that it would be a better win than Yair, Ortega, TKZ, and a few other of his wins outside of what, I guess, Max Holloway. But even then, I think that this is up there. I really do. I think Lopes is that good. I think that he's a staple in the division. And I don't think that this is like now that Ilya's gone, this is easy. He's won it. It's already written that he's going to be the champion. I don't think that it's like that. I get that Lopes has looked not great in certain moments, which we'll talk about, but I do think he poses a big threat to Volkanovski, and I think he has a good shot of finishing this fight, in my opinion. Now, there's a few reasons why. So first off, the grappling. A lot of people are saying if he just wrestles, if he just takes him down, holds him against the fence, he'll win the fight. If he just does that in the early rounds, first two rounds, and then starts striking in the third, once Lopes is gassed, it's going to be pretty easy. Now, I talked about this in a previous video. I don't think that Volk is going to really be able to take down Lopes. I think Lopes, his takedown defense is really good. And yes, he has been taken down before by Dan Ige, kind of, but that wasn't really a takedown. If you watch the fight, it was more that he just fell and he was tired. There was a minute left and he figured he'll just not get finished and he wins the fight. Plus, that was not fair. Short notice, hours notice. And on top of that, Dan Ige, he was in peak shape. He didn't have to cut weight at all. He already has a good chin. And Lopes had to weigh in like 3 separate times. Completely unfair. And he still looked good in that fight. And then Evelev. I think that Evelev, again, short notice, not really fair. And I think Evelev has really good entries. So I think, honestly, better entries than Volk. Volk is a very good grappler, but more defensively, where he's able to not get submitted, stay safe, very good defensively, very hard to take down, very hard to keep down, hold down. But in terms of his offensive grappling, it's good. We saw that against Yair, but Yair sucks. He's terrible. And unless he's going up against someone who's not great or not a great wrestler, he's usually going to do well, but if they have any sort of takedown threat, he's going to get taken down. He's going to get held down. He got held down by Max Holloway in their fight. Now, he was kind of winning on the striking, which is impressive, but the fact you got taken down by Holloway is insane. But yeah, Lopes, he's way better than Yair. Not even close, not even in the same league as him. So I feel like already that's something that he's underrated at and people aren't really talking about, his takedown defense. And I don't think that there's going to be any grappling in this fight. I think that Volkanovski, if he's not going to have success early grappling, and Diego has already said that he doesn't plan on submitting him. He's going to try to find the knockout. So I don't think he's going to be stupid and jump submissions, hopefully. And Volk, he's not getting submitted. I think that maybe he wrestles late, but even then, it's going to be if Lopes gets tired, he's going to have success on the feet. So I don't see why he would wrestle, to be honest. So I don't think that grappling is really going to happen in this fight, or it's going to play a big factor at all in who wins. In terms of other aspects, cardio, a lot of people talk about Lopes's cardio. It looked amazing against Ortega. He was pushing the pace in the third. I get this is 5 rounds, but still. And even still, he carries power past the first. And against Ortega, he hurt him at, I think, the last 30 seconds or minute, he hurt him bad. And he shows he can carry power past the first round. And that was a very hectic pace fight. Now, the difference is how Volk can counter this, and he probably will counter this, is Ortega got hurt early, where he got dominated in the first, arguably a 10-8, and then lost the second, where he wasn't able to do much damage to Lopes. And Volk, he's not a finisher, but he does an insane amount of damage, where that will affect Lopes's cardio. So in that way, I could see Lopes's cardio, even if he fights at a slower pace against Volk, it could be not as good. Plus, if he has staph infection or anything like that, obviously it's going to play a huge role. But still, I think his cardio is underrated. I think he has good cardio, and I think that his power is underrated past the first round. We know how much power he carries in the first. It's insane. Volk is going to be in danger the entire 5 minutes, 100%. And I think for the majority of the fight, he's going to be in danger, which he's good at avoiding danger. Not recently against Islam and Ilya, but still, he does get hit, though, where he is good at kind of rolling with punches and not getting knocked out. He has a good chin, despite what people say, and he did everything right. I think he recovered very well. This time, he took over a year off. I think his chin will be good, but he gets hit, and he gets hit a lot. We saw that against Max Holloway, and Lopez's power is a little bit different. He's the hardest hitter outside of Ilya, I feel like, that he's probably ever faced, and people will say, like in the division, let's say Josh Emmett, hits super hard. He's not great at finding the shot, Josh Emmett, compared to Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes is way better. I don't know if he's as powerful. It's close. He's up there with Josh Emmett with his power, but he's way better, similar to Ilya, at finding the knockout shot compared to other opponents where if Max Holloway, some of the shots he landed on Volk, if Lopez landed them, the fight would probably be over. Maybe he still eats it. We don't know. But I feel like those are just two big ways and two massive misconceptions about Diego Lopes heading into this fight. And where Volkanovski, where he's going to shine in this fight, his jab, especially early. Dan Ige Ortega was landing the jab on Diego Lopes. He gets hit a lot with it. I don't know if it's really going to affect him that much because he's shown he's able to work past it, avoid it at certain times where it's not too damaging. We'll see in this fight because Volk has an insane jab. The big problem with Volk is, if you look at the Ilya fight, I think that his plan was just use the jab, leg kicks, hurt his arms, and just kind of tire him out and then start building off of his jab, building off of his kicks. I think he should do the same thing, except he has to do that a little bit more early once he finds his range. I think his plan was to start doing that in the third round or so against Ilya, and he gets knocked out at the end of the second. I think that he said he was just too hesitant to start doing that. I do believe in this fight he's going to change. He's going to do that much earlier, maybe at the end of the first. I could definitely see that. I don't think either guy is really going to be on the front foot a ton. I know some people will say Diego Lopes, but the thing about Lopes is he's not on the front foot the entire fight like Ilya. Ilya has more pressure, but he doesn't let his hands go as frequently as Diego, where Diego, he'll just kind of blitz in with his pressure with long combinations, which I think his long combinations could knock out Volk, especially towards the end, once he pushes him back to the fence. Also think Diego has underrated leg kicks. I think his leg kicks are more damaging than Volk's, in my opinion. I think that other things, he has a really good head kick that he kind of hurt Ortega with. That's going to be there against Volk because of the size. He's also very big for the division, very tall. I think that he has really good hooks. I think that he has a nasty uppercut. He has good knees in the clinch. He could land those against Volk. Volk is just in a ton of danger in this fight, and I just don't think it's an easy fight for him, in my opinion. Now, where Lopes shines, again, pressure. When he pushes him back and he's able to get Volk to throw something back towards him, that's where he could win. That's where he could knock him out. And I do think he has a good shot of doing that. And Volk, I think Lopes could even win a decision, honestly. But for Volkanovski, he has to stay safe. He absolutely does. I think as the fight goes on, he's going to build into the fight. He's going to get more confident. Now, some of the outside factors is Volk is almost 37 years old. He looked great in his last fight. Even though he got knocked out, he looked super fast, looked like prime Volk. Nothing really changed. He took his recovery very seriously this time, and if anyone could do it where they beat the 35 curse, he wins the belt at over 35, first person ever at 145, it probably would be Volk. Still, it's another mountain he has to climb, another big issue he has to face, his age. He's not going to get any faster. Lopes, he's fought more frequently. He has all the momentum. He's way younger, in his prime. He's improving more frequently compared to Volk. And Volkanovski, it's tough because he doesn't have a huge finishing ability, so he has to stay in there with 5 rounds. And right now, I am kind of 50-50. I know it's sounded like I'm 100% going with Lopes, and that is going to be my early pick. My final prediction will be in the full card picks for UFC 314. But right now, I'm leaning with Lopes with an early knockout. I just think Volk he's bound to get knocked out. I think that he gets hit too much for me not to pick Lopes, and I think Lopes is too powerful for me not to assume he could find the shot. Now, when I'm saying that, I don't think that Volk's chin is gone. I think that Volk has a good chin. It's just Lopes hits that hard. So I will be going with Lopes for my early pick. I do kind of want Volk to win. It's very tough. I love both guys. But I'm going to watch some more tape. I'm going to see if I'm missing anything. And if so, I'll change my pick to Volk. We'll see. But yeah, in a few days, I'll drop the full card, final predictions, everything. Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. But yeah, let me know who you guys are picking for this fight. That is it for me. And yeah,